Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cinema Discussions. Cinema Discussions Season 2. I am back with some all-new topics and some all-new things that I definitely want to discuss in the upcoming weeks. Last season I've talked about some really good ones, but to kick off Season 2, we're gonna go and do things beyond just movies. We're gonna do some television stuff. We're gonna talk about art and some other stuff. But more importantly today, I want to talk about the one best thing when it comes to television. Okay. Since the advent of television, we have seen some of the best programming in the world. We've seen sitcoms, we've seen dramas, we've seen cop dramas, and of course the big cornerstone of television is, of course, game shows. Yes, from the dawn of time. When you think game shows, what is the first show that you think of? Is it shows like Jeopardy? Is it Wheel of Fortune? Or better yet, The Price is Right? And if you guessed all of them, you are totally in good luck because those game shows stand the test of time and they're still going strong to this day. But that had me thinking: is what is next for the evolution of game shows? Okay, sure. There's been other different kinds of game shows. There's been competition-based reality shows. There's been reality shows, and there's like a whole different dynamic. And of course, I've heard this saying before, like there's nothing original in Hollywood. And of course, another classic that's been tried to come back time and time again is, of course, Hollywood Squares. And of course, I've watched that. And I remember watching that as a kid, and I was like, "Ooh, this is pretty cool." But what did I know is that I did not know that there was an original lineup like that. This started decades earlier, and I've actually dug up some old Hollywood Squares from the day, and of course, watching Hollywood Squares in reverse chronological order just shows you like even competition shows or these kind of shows with celebrities is very entertaining. Okay, it makes for just some dynamite laughter, even especially for the audience at home. It's like, oh crap, did we just really watch that? Now we're watching. Oh, we just watched a live goof, or we just watched someone just completely just make the history of television. And then we go flash forward to the 90s, which shows like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and to me that was a good show in my childhood. I remember watching that every Friday night or whatnot, just to see Regis Philbin say, "Congratulations, you have won $1 million," kind of thing, on and on again, and of course Regis Philbin, God bless his soul. He really was a true guy that made that show famous. And of course, obviously, the rules of that show really changed. And of course, and that's another thing that kind of hits me in the craw. Like, we have famous game shows like this, that over time they add new things and add new like perks and whatnot. This is the one that I always go, what the hell did they do? This is not the game show I remember watching as a kid or playing the the at-home game board game that I used to have. I still have it. It's like I guess they want to make things easier, like change things up. And of course, I know it'll piss off some old viewers, but also make things a little interesting. And the same thing goes with another classic show that I actually had the privilege of watching in reverse chronological order. That is Password. There's been Super Password. There's been Password crosswords and whatnot. And like over time, it's just absolutely magnificent how much you can watch all this. I remember watching this in my hospital bed many moons ago when I had appendicitis. I remember watching, oh my goodness, look at Alan Ludden. This is Betty White's husband, her first husband. And I remember he immortalized himself into the history of television by saying lines like, "I don't have the foggiest." Wow, that was pretty good. Good, take note of that. And in fact, Betty White was on that show more times than ever. She's like a legend. Then you also had guys like Tony Randall and Jack Klugman, who which is funny because Alan Ludden did appear on an episode of The Odd Couple. So funny how that kind of bleeds over into sitcom world. So yeah, if you've never seen any of that, stop this movie right now and go watch that. In fact, go find the episodes with Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. You'll have a blast watching them. And then of course, another good one is, of course, Pyramid, the classic one, which starred Dick Clark. There's so many different shows that have changed, spanned the time, come and gone, But yeah, I feel like one day I would love to see them bring them all back, and like invent something new. But then again, nothing in Hollywood is new. They have the competition shows like American Idol. Then you got obviously that dance show. So you think you can dance or something like that? Not that. You get my point. Yeah, so many great shows. And then, of course, you got your reality-based shows like Big Brother, Survivor. Survivor is still going on, folks. Despite the pandemic, they actually halted production. But I've been hearing a lot of cool things, a lot of interesting stories that came out of that. And of course, you could say, oh, you got some infamous moments, you got some cool moments. But of course, everyone will say guys like Jeff Varner and Johnny Mother effing Fairplay are like the big time offenders when you watch that show. I could probably write a whole book on that. And that was a show I really wanted to be on. But while we're on the topic of reality-based competition shows, there was one show that I really wanted to see come back. And it's a show that I really think that if people would have had more eyes on this, I think this would have had some legs. Over in England, there was a show called Hunted, okay? What it did was, it followed, how do I say this? 9 teams of 2, I think it was 12 on the original show. 12 teams of 2 were selected at random. They were told, okay, you're being hunted. You have to go on the run. And the challenge is they have to get off the grid for as long as possible. And they make it to, I think it was like week or days. I forget what the day is. They have to follow the instructions, make it to the end, and they win $500,000. And on paper, that sounds bloody badass. I remember watching it ages ago, and when they revived it for American audiences, it only lasted 1 season. I was really enjoying it because I was like, ooh, what are they going to do next? And it kind of gives a glimpse into some of these people. And of course, the fact that wow, it just made me go into some insight. It's like, if you're going to try to go on the run or be a secret agent, there's ways and ways of hiding. There's ways and ways of them getting you. Like, you never let your guard down. And you'll be, and like, seriously, I think it would have had legs, but of course, I don't think anyone was watching. And I enjoyed this kind of show. I love anything that inspires, that builds off the spy genre. And of course, I talked about the spy genre on Great Life last season, and of course, many moons ago. And then, of course, they brought on Bravo a show called Spy Games, which lasted 1 season. I believe it was last year, 2019, 2020. And it was pretty darn fun. They just gathered a bunch of average everyday Joes. They gave them a dossier, and then told them to follow some directions, then head off. And this was like their base thing. I was like, wow, I would have loved to be on this competition and try to put my mental street smarts and as well as my own intellect to good use, because like I really wanted to see that. Even though I'm like a little out of shape, but I would have given it a go. I would probably blend in. I would have been a good spy. But what made it even more realistic, the 3 judges are 3 of the most famous guys in the history of espionage in the United States. One guy actually went so deep undercover, he infiltrated the Taliban. Oh my goodness, his name is Douglas Lau. Look him up, find his book. You will learn a lot about him. This guy, like to me, wrote the blueprint of how to be the coolest, most badass spy. And to him, if you're watching this, you sir are a freaking hero, okay? And I would love to see Spy Games back, because, hey, I would love to be on it, okay? Give me the opportunity, because, hey, you can be a competitor in any kind of competition these days. I'm sorry about that. My throat's kind of going, but you get my point. But what is the next evolution of television? We don't know. No, you just have to put your mind to it. There's been some copycat shows. There's been some ideas that kind of fell flat, like I mentioned earlier with The Hunted. There's something that, of course, there's shows that push the athletic competition. Obviously, when you think of athletic competition, you think American Gladiators. I would love them to bring it back. They did bring it back with Hulk Hogan, and then that got canned. But I would love for them to bring it back again, because I don't think younger audiences will ever do that. And speaking of younger audiences, what about those Nickelodeon game shows from the 90s? Shows like Nick Arcade and, of course, Legends on the Hidden Temple. Yes, oh my God. I marked out. I would mark out if they would bring that back. That would be a great feat because hey, these kids nowadays, they would not know good shows on Nickelodeon if they ever went back in time and watched these shows. And in fact, that Legends of the Hidden Temple was voted by many to be be one of the best competition games of the '90s on Nickelodeon. Tells you a lot. And Kirk Fogg, if you're listening, please. I would love to see it make the show make a comeback. I know we got a television movie, but I would love to see an actual competition show. Make it happen, Nickelodeon, if we can. All right. So I think I've just hit all the topics, the different kind of genres of television game shows. But yeah, as long as television's around or streaming services, you can watch any of these shows again and again. Where you have the Game Show Network, or if you're on super early in the morning, and of course you can catch Price is Right with Drew Carey. And yes, television will not die. The game show will never go away because this is our escape. Because it just gives us hope that any average ordinary person can go on a game show and just win money, even if they lose or some kind of consolation prize. We can do this, okay? So yeah. A lot can be, a lot of ideas out there, a lot of good and great things can come from live competition game shows or like that or anything, okay? We need to find the next evolution. Will it come sooner than we think? I don't know, especially in this COVID time. But of course, as the light at the end of the tunnel is slowly coming towards us, I'm slowly seeing a light towards an evolution of everything else: movies, television, even game shows. You get my point. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm starting to sound like a broken record. I want to hear your thoughts. What's next for television? Okay. All right, that does for this week. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for some more awesome and exciting videos.